Hinton, yours to explore. This is a true mountain town where the wild still feels wild and your adventure isn't handed to you. You find it for yourself. It's full of untouched wilderness, the freedom to explore, and the chance to pick your own path, all surrounded by a community eager to share it. There's something here for everyone, from history buffs and day hikers to backpackers and true outdoors people. We'll admit, we were tempted to keep this destination to ourselves, but some secrets are just too good not to share. First things first, every good adventure needs a backstory, and that's where Margaret came in. She's a walking encyclopedia of Hinton's history and has curated an exhibit that brings the past to life. She painted a picture of a town that's always been tied to the land and the people who work it, something that still defines the area today.
This is the station that was built here in 1911, and it was called Hinton after a railway executive. So this town is named after this building. So it stood from 1911 to 2003, and then it wasn't going to be a station anymore, so the community moved it here to be a museum. And we still face the same way. You got this sweet view of the tracks. I found the community to be quite kind. It's the kind of community where I, as the manager, can build a museum space that is also small town, friendly, welcoming, because that just fits into the fabric of the community.
After meeting with Margaret to get the inside scoop, we were off. A quick pit stop in town to grab some supplies, and we were on our way to our first base camp. Our first night would be spent under the stars at Rocky Mountain Escape. Bordering Jasper National Park and the Wilmore Wilderness, this place is the ideal getaway. No cell service, no distractions, just trails, fresh air, and undisturbed nature. Upon arrival, we received a warm welcome from owners Julia and Gary, who made the move from the UK to Hinton just before COVID, and we were about to see why.
What we find, a lot of people will come here for their 2 or 3 nights and they're just unplugging on holiday and just resting. They think they're going to come and do all sorts, and when they get here it's like so peaceful, so quiet, there's no one around. They sleep till lunchtime, they just get a chance to unwind, and we like that. If you'd asked us 15 years ago when we were in the UK, we would have never in a million years thought it would be somewhere like this. Once we came and saw the place, it was just like, oh my God, this is amazing. Could we really? Should we? Right? Let's sell the acreage and put an offer in, and it just snowballed from there. You know, we often get asked if we just built these, and they're actually 28 years old, but they're huge. And I fell in love with them as soon as I saw them. They're amazing. They're secluded, so it's nice, right? You'll probably see deer come by. They walk through while you're just sitting eating, and they're not really frightened. You'll see in the guest books those that leave a message. They're from all over the world in the summer. I think they were from Northern Ireland that were here with the kids. She said they were wondering about the kids and not being able to use the iPads and not being able to watch the TV, and she said like it was the best 2 days we'd ever had. So Gary and I built this dome our 2 selves, right? There was literally blood, sweat and tears on this job because we were thinking, what could we do, like something different, like something unique? And lo and behold, after the job of getting it here and actually getting it built, it's just amazing. It's been a big hit, everybody's loved it.
We don't want to change it drastically, we want to keep it as simple and basic as possible because it's all about getting away.
After getting the grand tour, we set off on an evening adventure of our dreams. A quiet walk down to the river, the light fading over the trees, and that unmistakable feeling of being completely unplugged.
What do you think his name is?
Prince. Or isn't that what?
Is it?
No, I gotta lick his butt.
Eventually, we made our way back to the cabin just in time to fire up the barbecue. With a flat-top grill and a view that felt straight out of a postcard, it was the perfect setup for an evening feast in the mountains. After dinner, we had time to relax by the campfire, where we met up with Julia and Gary to enjoy a nightcap.
We stopped at the museum in Hinton on the way here, and they had a book on mushrooms. And I was like, I'd love to know which ones are edible.
You should
and
ask
which ones...
Scott tomorrow
I
because
will,
he
yeah.
forages for them all the time.
Now, it wouldn't be a weekend well spent in Hinton without continuing our adventure of the great outdoors. And the more time we spent chatting with locals, the more we kept hearing Scott's name come up. If there's one person who knows the backcountry here, it's him. An outdoorsman, survivalist. You know what? Let's just have Scott introduce himself.
My name is Scott Sunderwald. I work with Alberta Parks. It's my pleasure to take you out today and show you some of the sights and sounds here. I've been in Western Canada most of my life. I studied fish wildlife recreation and just knew I needed to work outdoors in Canada. I do a lot of wilderness survival and bushcraft. That's kind of my passion. I like the fact that this is more untamed and wild than most. It's so vast and rugged, and for me it's always the more wild the landscape the better, and this has it in spades. This is Solomon Creek.
Yeah.
The cool thing about this river is David Thompson came through in 1811, pretty much right where we are right now. Indigenous guide showed him the way over Athabasca Pass to the Pacific Ocean, so this became a major fur trading route. We've had archaeologists up through these mountains here, and they'll come back and find Knife River flint from the Dakotas, obsidian from Yellowstone National Park. This stuff was traded for 10,000 years right through here. The rivers are fantastic for fly fishing. We've got northern pike in here, the Athabasca rainbow trout, bull trout, and whitefish. Really a fly fisherman's paradise. I always say there's enough to explore in the Northern Rockies for 2 lifetimes. Like, I've been here for over 20 years and I still feel like I've only scratched the surface. It's a real paradise if you like the great outdoors. Because we're on camera, the fish are not going to bite. You guys can Photoshop a fish. Yeah. It was this big.
A lot of people, they see this sort of stuff and they're interested in it. How do you kind of introduce someone like that into this kind of lifestyle?
What I would recommend is go check out the visitor centers. So there's a great one in Switzer Park, Hinton, and Grand Cache. Get some of the local brochures and maps, and they'll pull out a highlighter for you and sort of ask you, what's your comfort level? You know, we get some people who want rugged backcountry. Well, now we can point you this way. If you're with a family and just want a quick day hike, here's some great day hikes with some good vistas. That'd be a great way to start. And then slowly build your competence and confidence, right? Just start small and work your way up. That's the real beauty of this area, is just the freedom that you have, especially for your backcountry experiences. There's over 1,000 kilometers of trails to hike in the area. We have many places where you don't need to register, where it's still free of charge to go camping. You can have a fire. There's very few places left, I would say, in the Western world where you can have experiences like that.
After that adventure, we were in the mood for an après, and thankfully, we knew just the spot, Folding Mountain Brewing. Set right on the edge of Jasper National Park, the view alone is worth the stop. That said, we are in for a treat. With an extensive beer list and a delicious menu, this might be the best après selection in the Rockies. We had to get a personal favorite of ours, the Alpine Cranberry Sour. And fun fact, this beer even got mentioned in one of my favorite books, Beer Hiking in the Canadian Rockies. We fueled up with their fire-roasted tomato soup, deep-fried Brussels sprouts, mountain grilled cheese, and the black bean veggie burger, all knockouts. And if you're not ready to leave, you don't have to. You can always make reservations at Jasper East Cabins next door or the nearby Overlander Mountain Lodge and extend your stay. After we ate, we sat down for a great chat with my friend and co-owner of Folding Mountain, Eric.
So what year did you guys open?
So July 2017, so it's been just over 8 years for us now. Yeah, Jason and I both grew up here. We've known each other since we were 5 years old. 2015, 2016, we started talking about how fun it would be maybe if we did open a brewery. And then in 2016, we're like, yeah, let's go. When we first opened, our board had 4 beers. We're like, man, this is great. You order a flight, didn't have to choose, just here's your 4. And then it went to 5 beers. And it's like, okay, well, let's allow people to have all 5. And it's like, well, now there's 6, what do we do? So we have 8 cores. We have 2 lagers, hazy, a session hazy, an IPA, and a Hefeweizen, and Cran Sour. That was a beer that was supposed to be just a seasonal, and then it took off, and it became our top selling can, and then it just had to stay. We thought we'd just be counter service, take a number, go sit down, we'll bring your food. During COVID, you couldn't operate like that, so we had to go table service. And then once we went table service, it's like, okay, we're a full service restaurant now. You really have to always make sure you're giving people what they want and keeping things optimal, because it's easy to get comfortable and just be like, man, we're great. Yeah. And then you're great till you're not. We have fantastic staff who really are attentive to our customers. We don't take that for granted. Our staff are what make this place. We have become a destination for people who are heading to Jasper. So people, if they're coming from Edmonton to go skiing for the weekend, we're their lunch stop. And then we're their lunch stop on the way home. So we're really lucky that way. We have a lot of regular customers from the city, as well as Hinton and Jasper.
After spending the afternoon at Folding Mountain, we made our way back into town, where another epic evening was waiting. And of course, for us, every great night starts with great food. Meet Las Tres Marias, a local favorite run by co-owner Miguel, who greeted us with his signature warm Mexican hospitality. And from our first bite, we understood why people here won't stop talking about his family-run food truck.
We are from the heart of Mexico. It's called Guanajuato. I met my wife in Mexico and she grew up in Jasper. We were in Mexico for some time. We had our first daughter out there. We decided to come back here. I've never been in a small town before and I fell in love with the place. Yeah. My daughters and my boy, they're growing up in the kitchen, right? We grew up in the kitchen as well. And I think that's the biggest bonus, of working for a food truck. You work with your family, right? And very few parents can say that I work with my family all day long.
Yeah, you get to see them every day.
That's probably my biggest wage. The logo's after our daughters, Las Tres Marias. It's an old Spanish sign, which means 3 daughters. After the 3 ships that came to Mexico, La Nina, La Pinta, La Santa Maria. So we have quesadillas here. This is definitely one of the classics. It's made of corn tortilla, beef brisket inside, and this is a consommé. So the Mexican fries is one of our more modern items. It's a fusion of French fries, your choice of meat, and then it's followed by 2 layers of cheese. And if you want to sauce it up more, people have the option to add whichever salsa they like. We make our own chips as well. Nothing's pre-bagged or pre-made, everything's fresh. So we have churros, Mexican-style donuts, and this is the Tres Leches. It's got 3 different kinds of milks, and that's why it's called Tres Leches. Very popular in Mexico.
With dinner handled, we took a stroll to one of Hinton's most unique landmarks, the Beaver Boardwalk. It's the longest freshwater boardwalk in the world, winding through wetlands built and maintained by the resident beavers. We were lucky enough to see some of the boardwalk's famous locals as soon as we arrived. The boardwalk is best visited in the morning or evenings when they're out getting their work done. But truly, a visit here is worth it anytime. With winding paths, beautiful views, seating, signs, and of course, really cute locals, it's a must visit. The boardwalk even connects to the Hinton Bike Park, which told us that we were on the right track with our plans for the next morning. We started day 3 at a local favorite, the Old Grind, a cozy coffee hangout right downtown. We met up with Glenn from Rocky Mountain Ride Guides, who was set to take us biking on some local trails. It became clear chatting with him that biking is part of the community's identity.
This is my 4th season as Rocky Mountain Ride Guides. My primary demographic would be people who are a bit established and mountain biking is sort of their passion and their hobby, and they're willing to spend a little bit of money on it to enjoy a ride without having to think about where they're going in an area that they might not know. But more importantly for me is progress from being kind of comfortable on, like, let's say a jump line, to being like, okay, comfortable, I can ride this. And then in the last couple of years, I started doing kids camps in the summer. It's been super fun. I mean, I've been a teacher for 30 years. It's not out of my comfort zone at all. We have about 90-ish kilometers of trail, and an overwhelming majority of that is purpose-built mountain bike trail. And what we have rivals a lot of what's out there. We're gonna head out just south of the Nordic Center. It's the network that has easily the most advanced riding on it. It's super fun, fairly concentrated, so you can get a really good variety of things in kind of a single ride. Sweet. Get some great views.
I'm good.
Before we made our way home, we had to check out the soda shop. Tucked inside the historic King Drug building, it's part pharmacy, part vintage diner, and all nostalgia. It's been a community staple for decades, serving milkshakes and floats that taste just as they did 50 years ago.
The whole idea with this place is that we're trying to deliver an experience of being in another time period, whether it's like the 50s, or we got the arcade there full of all the games from like the 80s, or maybe you're just sitting around playing board games and it feels like you're not in the 21st century where everything is screens and you're more just interacting with people. We've been really lucky the last couple of years. I think the word's getting out, right? So more and more people are coming, whether it's for the game selection, the really unique food experience. They've always had, specialty sodas and stuff, but this was more the big move into like making our own stuff and delivering the experience a little bit more full. And we really leaned into the uniqueness of the sodas. We have all the syrups there you can see, and we have cream, and we have things like lemon juice and lime juice that we use to kind of create a special soda. We call them craft sodas. They're known as dirty sodas in a lot of places. We're definitely known for our milkshakes. We have a lot of flavors, and we use really high quality ingredients. And so the idea is to have a really high quality treat, and that's kind of what we deliver. We call them specialty hot dogs. So the idea is taking, what you would normally enjoy around a campfire or something, a regular hot dog, and you're gonna build on that and make things like our pizza dog, which we have a homemade pizza sauce, pepperoni, and cheese, and we bake it all on there.
We heard pizza dog and we were sold. We got one of those as well as a kimchi dog and the barbecue bacon dog. And in my lifetime, hot dogs have never looked or tasted this gourmet. Combine those with old school shakes and delicious craft sodas, and you've got the ultimate treat to wrap up a day of exploring. This was the kind of ending that reminds us why we hit the road in the first place. And trust us, we'll be back. If you're the kind of traveler who loves getting off the beaten path, where mountain air meets real untouched wilderness, Hinton is your spot. It's a place that bridges two worlds, the rugged, untamed wildness of the Rockies and the down-to-earth charm of small-town Alberta. Whether you're here for a weekend hike, a lakeside picnic, or just passing through on your way to Jasper, Hinton pulls you in with that quiet sense of adventure that can't be manufactured. They call it the gateway to the Rockies, and they're right. But what you'll find here isn't just a gateway. It's a place that makes you slow down, look around, and remember why you fell in love with the outdoors in the first place.